Have you ever had that feeling, that persistent echo from the past?
Hmm.
It seems like a lot of us are feeling it right now, seeing these striking comparisons between today, 2025, and a really tragic turning point, 1941.
Yeah, you're absolutely right to pick up on that. It's definitely a sentiment you hear a lot.
It's hard to shake this sense that patterns are, well, maybe not repeating exactly, but rhyming.
Rhyming is a great word for it. And that's sort of our mission in this deep dive, isn't it? To unpack what happened in 1941,
Right.
those pivotal events, and then look at how 2025 might be reflecting those patterns,
Yeah.
symbolically or maybe even in actual real-world stuff happening now.
Yeah.
The crucial thing about 1941, it wasn't just one big event. It was this convergence. Global war, yes, but driven by these brutal expansionist ideologies.
Really aggressive stuff.
Yeah, that specifically targeted whole groups of people for, extermination. It was just a crucible of human catastrophe.
Looking through the sources, the sheer gravity of 1941, it really hits you. What were those key moments, those specific turning points that made it such a dark year?
Well, the sources really point to a few critical things.
Mm-hmm.
First, June 41, Nazi Germany invades the Soviet Union. Operation Barbarossa.
Massive invasion.
Massive, devastating. Opened up the whole Eastern Front, which was just unbelievably brutal. Then, later that year, December 7th,
Pearl Harbor.
Japan attacks Pearl Harbor, and that pulls the U.S. fully into World War II.
Right, no turning back then.
Exactly. And woven through all of that, tragically, the Holocaust was intensifying, escalating from, horrific mass shootings towards systematic extermination.
And connecting those dots, like you said, these weren't just isolated events happening randomly.
Not at all.
They linked up. They ignited what was already a huge conflict into something truly global, engulfing all the major
The
powers.
sale just exploded.
Yeah, the suffering, the deaths, soldiers, sure, but so many civilians, too. It reached a level that's hard to even comprehend.
Mhm.
It really cemented 1941 as that time of intensified global conflict, these brutal ideologies clashing, and just widespread human catastrophe.
Exactly. The world fundamentally changed that year. Irrevocably.
Okay, so fast forward. What does this mean for us now in 2025? We're obviously not in a global war on that same scale.
Thankfully, no.
But our sources are definitely flagging some, well, troubling similarities, tensions that make it feel like history's doing that rhyming thing again.
What kind of things are jumping out?
Well, you see rising global conflict, right? Eastern Europe, obviously, with Russia and Ukraine still ongoing.
Still a major flashpoint.
Huge tensions in the Middle East, the Asia-Pacific too. And you hear more talk, maybe just talk, but still, World War III scenarios.
Yeah, that rhetoric is definitely increasing.
Accompanied by military buildups, new alliances forming, it does feel a bit reminiscent of those pre-WWII dynamics, doesn't it?
It's not just one conflict zone. It's the multi-front nature, like you said, that interconnectedness. Where a spark in one place could, potentially ignite fires elsewhere. It feels like that domino effect we saw starting in the late 30s.
So the big question then, is history repeating itself?
Well, you know that famous Mark Twain quote, history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes.
Yeah, I like that one.
I think that's key here. We're not destined to relive 1941, but 2025 certainly has some dangerous echoes. You can't deny them.
And it's not only the active conflicts, it's also the political climate. We're seeing a definite rise in authoritarian regimes globally.
Or polarization, too.
Exactly. Heightened political polarization, nationalist movements popping up. You see democratic backsliding in several places. It feels like an erosion of democratic norms.
It does. And what about the tech side? You mentioned that earlier. AI, drones, cyber warfare. How do those rhyme with the kind of rapid military tech changes in WWII?
That's a really interesting parallel.
Isn't it? Just like things like radar or jet engines completely changed the game back then.
Right. Fundamentally reshape the battlefield.
Today's AI systems, cyber tools, they're bringing totally new strategic questions, ethical problems. It suggests a similar, very rapid evolution in how conflict might happen. It's a key echo.
And then there's the economy, inflation, supply chain issues, fears about recession.
Definitely mirrors those interwar economic tensions, doesn't it? Another layer of instability.
Absolutely. And maybe the most insidious part, the spread of misinformation, scapegoating minorities, ideological extremism heating up.
All huge red flags from the late 30s and early 40s. Chillingly familiar.
So the specifics might be different Different leaders, different tech, but the underlying dynamics.
Political divisions, global instability, these strongman leader types emerging,
Yeah.
and maybe most critically, warnings from history that just seem to be getting ignored. It's those echoes, those patterns.
And they seem to feed off each other, don't they? Creating this kind of feedback loop of tension.
That's a really worrying aspect.
Yeah. So thinking of 2025 as this like echo chamber to 1941, not a perfect copy, but a really potent, unsettling reminder. History rhyming in potentially dangerous ways.
Indeed. Which leads us with a crucial thought, doesn't it? If these historical rhymes are basically ignored warnings,
Mm.
what steps, what concrete actions might we need to take to make sure those tragic turning points from the past actually become lessons learned, not just patterns we repeat?